Good Morgan, people. Shadow Eater, one angry pagan here. I'm getting really frustrated, and I don't know how to deal. I really don't know how to deal with it. So many people are talking about how Labour is going to be this massive disappointment. Not a lot of us are expecting a whole massive lot out of Labour in the first Parliament, although we do see some change coming. It's this it's this. They're not going to do what we want, so Labour are bad, which is kind of arrogant, defeatist, and really frustrating to deal with, especially when it's coming from allies. I don't expect Labour to do everything I want. However, I am expecting them to do 30 to 40% of what I think this country needs, if not a little bit more. And yet, and you get like none of it from the Tories. I'd rather have I'd rather have some rather than none. Now, it's really frustrating trying to talk to people on fellows on the left about this stuff, because I get told I'm barely I'm a centrist. Well, I don't consider myself a centrist. Like my personal politics is that I would rather see this country become a republic for a start. I would rather see all public services nationalised. You know, the devolved democracy amongst the regions of the UK. These are socialist ideals. I don't want, but I don't. I also what I also recognise at the same time is I'm not going to get all of that in my lifetime. The point is to fight for what we can get, and I really feel like many people are forgetting this. Many people who I would consider very sensible people seem to be forgetting this, and they're going and are attacking Labour, and it's like they're not even in power yet. We haven't even got a manifesto yet. We don't like. Oh, now when Labour come out and say something that's ridiculous, yeah, it's right to, you know, speak out against it. But Labour can't do anything until they're in power, and it also feels like people forget that the majority of the country is the majority of the voting public, I should say, are a very fickle group of people. Labour aren't just trying to appeal to one set group of people, and as much as that might piss like people further on the left like us, they might that might piss, some of the stuff they might come up with might piss us off a bit, but it's not for us because Labour aren't governing the country just on our behalf. They are running. They have to run the country on the behalf of everyone. You're supposed to represent the whole country, by and large, not in an absolutist sense. By and large, they're supposed to represent the country as a whole, right? Which means, or the nation state as a whole, whatever. We it seems to be. It seems to me like it's being forgotten or ignored that the current political board, the game that has to be played is the first past the post system, and to win that system you have to play the game a certain way. Now there are ways to tweak that system in towards a leftist favour, but it's difficult. But that doesn't mean that we should just give up on the fight. Now, again, I make the point: the Labour are Labour promising to do everything I want them to do? No, but are they promising to do some of the stuff I want them to do? Fucking yes, they are, and I am all on board. For one of the biggest things that Labour have come out with has been the policy on the National Wealth Fund. I am all up for that. It's I don't see I can't see why people are constantly trying to tell me that Labour aren't at all on the left. Liz Kendall and Wes Streeting are centrists and obvious centrists. Even centre right, But there are people like Ed Miliband, and Starmer himself, I feel, is actually centre left. Again, it's like people on the left are behaving as if we already have PR. I might get some pushback on that, but that's how it feels. Like, people on the left are expected, like, they want Labour to do exactly what they want, because they're not. They're getting shitty at it. Do you see what I mean by it feeling really defeatist? And another thing that's really getting to me is trying to talk to Scots nationalists. Now, I am not fully against an independence referendum on Scotland, but I kind of wish that these people would understand that, like, people like me have family who are Scottish and have ancestry that's Scottish as well as English. And that's partly through conquest on either front. I'm just really frustrated, and I'm getting to a point where I don't know how to communicate with these people, because they have this absolutist mindset, and that's it. It's like, we're supposed to live in a democracy. These people like want us to be in a democracy. We are in a democracy. It's a flawed democracy, but it's still a democracy. Labour is a more democratic party in of itself than the Tories, which is why there are people of opposing views within Labour Party itself. So you extrapolate that out to the entire country, and any party that's in government that wants to be responsible in government has to recognise that it's not just got to look after its own fucking people. I it, that might sound centrist, but that's the system we're in right now. That's realism. Like, that's the system we're in. This is the game. This is the board we have. So therefore, this is the game we must play. But we can win that game. And Aaron Bevan, my hero, believed that game could be won this way. And it's not been he has not been proven to be incorrect. Only those people who seem to think that there is, one, a definite end goal to socialism, and two, that things that they expect these changes to happen like that. It's like that's not how it works. These things always work gradually. These changes always, social changes nearly always come about in a gradual manner. It's just shaping, our at the point of us on the left is to make it is to make these changes, the changes that we want, viable. And all this bickering I see is not helping. That we have some great ideas on the left of how to change things. And I really, again, putting it simply, I really think that people misunderstand how democracy works. That might sound a bit arrogant in of itself, but that's how I feel. That, you know, how else am I supposed to feel when so many of the people I would consider allies on these YouTube chats and whatnot that are on the left are screaming out against any, the best vehicles right now to get any leftist policies through? No, don't get me wrong. I get the realism of the negative side of the realism. You know, some of the basic things that I want to see Labour do, they don't seem to be wanting to do. But we can't rule out that they won't do it in the future. Labour can be coerced into stuff. The Tories, Tories ain't going to be coerced by the left. Labour can. And it's funny I find it funny that these people also saying that the Labour isn't left at all. It's right wing. It's not right wing. It isn't right wing. It's just not as left as we would all prefer. There's a difference. It might be rightwards compared to us, but it's still left of centre. I haven't seen any evidence to prove otherwise. Now again, just finish off, because this has been a bit of a ramble. I really want people to get the fact that as a democracy, many different people want many different things, and different MPs from around a different country represent people who want different things. Even in a PR system, that's going to be the case. Especially in a PR system, that's going to be the case. So either way, it's like getting these the leftist policies we want is going to be hard, but making it harder isn't going to help. And I do consider attacking a party that constantly attacking a party that is the best vehicle for leftist policies, given the current board of politics game, that we have to play the political game on. Like, I find it really illogical that people will attack the best vehicle we have instead of trying to influence that vehicle. There you go. Sorry about this. I've had quite a few YouTube chats now where people who I usually have friendly chats with are rather hostile to both Labour, a party I support, and the English, of which I am English. Just thought, I just feel it just feels really frustrating. So yeah, well, good fate, people. Good way out. Blessed Thursday. Blessed be.